Okay, this is my documentation on the Goal of Yoga Doco. Okay, so I'll tell you how it came about and why it came about, and basically in itself the story is about yoga, or an example of yoga. So about 2002, 2003, I was a bit confronted whilst learning to become a yoga teacher. I was a bit confronted by people going around calling themselves yogis and yoginis. Because I'm a literal sort of person, I was interpreting the word yogini and yogi as a very specific term to do with someone who has attained the goal of yoga. Far be it for me to actually project onto people my interpretation of whether they have or have not achieved the goal of yoga. It was more like my interpretation of their behavior did not represent what I interpreted a yogi or a yogini to predominantly represent. So I got on with life, entered into a relationship for 8 years, then applied to go to the Kumbh Mela and present a paper at a conference. The paper was titled, "At the Core of the Human Body Lies the Sanskrit Alphabet." So prior to actually travelling to India to present the paper, but after applying to go, something inside of me said, why don't you get the domain name thegoalofyoga.com? At this point I was still confronted by people in yoga communities throughout the world referring to themselves as yogis and yoginis. So I thought, what the heck, thegoalofyoga.com it is. So I've got the name on the back burner. Then about 3 months prior to my departure for India to attend the Kumbh Mela, which I didn't really know what it was about, but I was going anyways because I spontaneously applied to present the paper and I was accepted. So then my plans were to attend the Kumbh Mela. All I knew that there was a shitload of people that attended over a month or two, and they all went to one specific spot on the river to, I didn't even know at the time, but the reason they go to the spot is to achieve immortality and get off the cycle of reincarnation. So 3 months prior to departure I thought I might buy a video camera. I checked the local stores and the internet. I decided that I'd buy one for $348. And then I didn't think anything of it. I didn't buy one. I just left it go. And then about 2 weeks prior to my departure, something inside of me said, buy the camera. So I went to buy the camera. It had been reduced from $348 to $319, which included a 16 gigabyte memory card and a case. So I bought it because I was intending to buy the same camera without the case and card for $348 anyway. And then 2 weeks later I departed for India, not knowing or having any idea of how I would achieve my quest to film people in regards to the goal of yoga. At the same time as departure, I had 4 other goals in mind, as well as filming the Goal of Yoga Doco. One was to meet a mantra teacher. One was to meet a publisher willing to publish the books that I have written, the What on Earth is Kundalini series, which will be published this year, 2013 in September. It will challenge the world and hopefully go viral. But who knows, we'll see what happens. The other goals were to get some exposure in regards to building a Shiva temple in Tasmania, and the other goal we'll leave secret for now. So here I was, departing with a whole heap of goals in mind, not knowing how they would come to fruition, simply leaving it in the lap of the gods, and also knowing behind everything that I am born in the image of the Creator, and I can create anything in my life. So I thought about it and let creation take its course. I went to Delhi and checked out a couple of publishers. One said no, one said he would get back to me, but he didn't. Then I went to Varanasi, the place of many names. Varanasi, Benares, Devanagari, Kashi, all to do with the abode of Shiva. Shiva being one of the Hindu gods in the trilogy, and also known as Nagaraj, the father of the serpents, or the king of the serpents, and around his neck is the image of the Kundalini. So I thought Varanasi would be the best place to find a publisher, since my books, the What on Earth is Kundalini series, are purely about Kundalini, and according to the Tantric Shastra traditions, the Kundalini is a bi-manifold experience involving two energies, and that is the Shiva and Shakti. The Shiva, in the abode, in the Brahman Randra, within the third eye, consciousness. The Shakti, the Kundalini, in the Muladhara chakra. The goal being to unify the two by bringing the Shakti to the abode of Shiva. So I thought, since the What on Earth is Kundalini series predominantly about Kundalini, Kundalini's about Shiva and Shakti, what better place to print the books than the abode of Shiva on this planet, which is known as Varanasi or Benares. So I checked a couple of publishers out. One was an absolute delight. His name is Ramanand Tiwari. He is a joy and a phenomenal being, a fountain of knowledge with the biggest heart on the planet. He was embracing from the start, and to my astonishment, after knowing him for 2 days, he invited me to stay at his camp at the Kumbh Mela for the period that his camp was open, and that was a 4-week period. I had previously booked an ashram, and 4 days in the month of February were designated to attend the conference, and accommodation was provided at the conference. So I thought I might leave the ashram on the back burner for now and attend the Kumbh Mela while staying in Ramanand's camp. So here I was, not knowing how to find a publisher. In Varanasi, I found a publisher. I ended up in the camp of Pilgrim's Publishing House in Sector 7 of the Kumbh Mela. I also got a page in a massive newsletter that had 100,000 copies and was distributed throughout the Kumbh Mela. The page was about the What on Earth is Kundalini series and the future plans to publish them by Pilgrim's House. So, to my amazement, the first week that I was at the Kumbh Mela, Ramanand informed me that he was to present and endorse something called the World Peace Day. And this was to be held in the National Media Centre on the 25th of February. From the 29th of January, our arrival, Ramanand spent most of his time going around the Kumbh Mela, trying to sign up some big bosses in the field of yoga regarding the World Peace Day at the Kumbh. So he spent almost every available minute traversing the Kumbh Mela, which was a temporary city of 10 miles long and 5 miles wide. He spent endless hours travelling to these big bubbas. They had big gates, they had big followings, they had big names. And he approached them. Somehow he managed to get one-on-one darshan with them. At the same time as getting darshan, he got them to sign the petition or the paper where they would say they would attend the Kumbh Mela World Peace Day on the 25th of February. At the same time, I was in the background with a few of his crew, and upon visiting these big bubbas, he would introduce me and ask if they could answer my question on film in relation to what the goal of yoga is. I had no idea prior to the journey to India how I would get footage. I had no idea I would find a publisher. But somehow I found a publisher, and he held my hand and led me to the bubbas. Within the documentary, there are bubbas of many names and many titles. There are bubbas who remain hidden, with no titles, no names, and full of knowledge. I'm in the process of getting the footage, which must be 2 hours in length, from the company of Ramanand into some sort of edited form, so I can bring to the world a documentary on the goal of yoga while attending the Kumbh Mela in 2013. Apart from Ramananda holding my hand and walking around to the big named yogis, and I use that term lightly, I was also blessed to attend the Jyotish Astro-Vedic conference for 4 days from the 4th of February to the 9th. During this time, many a great saint attended the conference. 3 Shankaracharyas, big names again, huge, in the field of yoga anyway. 2 Mahamandaleshwaras, at least. Only thing is I couldn't understand Hindi, and the whole conference was Hindi, apart from 3 speakers. So I can't understand some of the other titles, but there are people like Mahendraji, Narendranandaji, and many other people and saints, babas, sadhus, who attended the conference and talked about the goal of yoga in relation to Astro-Vedic Jyotish astrology. So from there, the conference, I have a further 2 hours of footage. Some of it in Hindi, some of it in English. I was amazed that at the end of my journey, I came home with over 4 hours of footage in relation to the Goal of Yoga documentary, which at the time I did not know why I registered the domain name, thegoalofyoga.com. I did not know why I bought a camera and took it. I did not know I would find a publisher. I did not know that publisher would walk me around to many great saints. The conference I had no idea about provided me with many great experiences in the form of darshan and the saints in what they said in relation to life itself. I also asked for a mantra teacher, and he was placed in my lap. The most amazing experiences have fallen upon me. I am eternally thankful. The mantra teacher will have many a great video on YouTube and the goalofyoga.com in relation to the sacred science of mantra and some of the specific mantras in relation to making a hell of a lot of money in your own life, making people settle down and abide within a friendship that you desire with them, perhaps working towards the goal of yoga itself through utilization of mantra. And besides that, Mahendra Ji is just an awesome guy with an epic charisma. The power of him in relation to his pure devotion to the cause is second to none. Anyway, check out the videos, Sheshnag Yoga Center, one word, at youtube.com. There'll also be videos, sohamconsciousness.com, and in the future, sheshnag.com, thegoalofyoga.com. Also, you can donate, bottom of the screen, at sheshnag.com, PayPal, or just go and buy the series, the books. 4 books, September 2013. What on earth is Kundalini? Om Namah Shivaya. Peace. Hopefully you can donate if you can. All money and will go towards building the Shiva temple. And then after the Shiva temple, we'll try and build a Sanskrit museum. I'm a bit itchy. Okay. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shanti.